Oh, I ended the stream. Oh, not yet.
Oh, now I can see a countdown. I can see a countdown now, Sue.
You can?
Yes, I see it says live, and we're at 13 seconds, 14 seconds, 15 seconds.
Huh. Let's see.
Everyone that's here with us, can anyone see us now or hear us now on the stream? If you can, if you wouldn't mind, because this is new to Sue and I.
Oh, she sees us now. Yay!
We're saying,
Yay!
Okay, this now. Oh, wonderful.
Wow.
We just had a wonderful conversation the last 6 minutes, just you and I.
Yes, thank you, Nancy, for telling us that. Like I said, Sarah, this is the first time Sarah and I have done this. This is the first time I've ever used this platform. So I am very, very new at all of this and very beginner. So bless you for letting us know that we're not visible. We weren't visible or here. So
because it takes all of us to grow. So thank you guys so much. So
yes. Any comments is so appreciative, so appreciative. So I think I'll start at the beginning because Nancy didn't hear anything. Yes. So my goal is to debunk the stigma around numbers. Like I was telling Sarah, do you want to introduce yourself?
Oh, sure. I would love
yourself.
That.
Yes.
Yeah, for sure. So I'm Sarah, and I am a life purpose coach. And so what I do is everyone knows the answers that they have that for their life, they have them inside of them. And what I do is to help create a safe place for you to be able to pair action with your thoughts for your most authentic life and the things that you want in your life. And so that's what I do. So I'm here with Sue because I am infatuated with the numbers. And for about 6 years, I've been dabbling in numerology, not, of course, to the level of Sue. And so when I met Sue, I feel like we became like instant friends, and we just wanted to be able to share our talents and our passions with others so that everyone else can grow in their own way too.
Right. Because every tool that we can put in our toolbox makes us that much stronger, can help us in so many ways. Yes. All right. So numbers are in everything. Everything. You cannot do anything without it reflecting onto a number of some sort. You think of the problems that are solved, quantum physics, all of that is based around the numbers. It's very, very, it's the universal language. And numerology really isn't that hard to learn. So for Nancy, I'm glad that you're here so that you can follow us and have more. Yes, thank you for doing that. Number one, she put it in. Yes. And I'm not even sure, Nancy, if it's going to work, but the software, supposedly the software behind us is picking up on anybody who puts in that code, and at the end they will draw a name, and you have 24 hours to reach out to me. I'll give you the information at the end of the show. And I will set up a time so I can get to know you and meet you. Nice, lovely. And Sarah, do you want to tell? I don't know how we would do it. Are you going to just pick somebody?
Oh, sure. At the end, we will randomly pick someone and to have a free session with me. So where you can choose one thing that you really would like to focus on. And in that session, we will get that thing. We will help for you to have more clarity in that one topic or subject for yourself in a session for me for no cost. So we'll also do that at the end.
Yeah, nice. All right. So we're going to talk about the number one.
Well, I'm excited. Can I ask you a question, Sue, before we get started?
Oh, please.
You had mentioned that if your birth date is 1 or 10, because 10 is reduced to 1, or
19
or 28, those are all reduced to 1. What about your birth month, like January or October, being reduced to 1? Would that be relevant too?
In the formula, yes, in the formula, but no. The answer is no.
Beautiful. Okay, thank you.
Yeah, because when we calculate. Because when we calculate the life path, then we add the month, day, and year together. Nancy was born on the 10th. Her birthday. This will really resonate to you.
Oh, wonderful.
The other thing is if you have the letters A, J, or S, those are all number ones. Now, you can, a lot of times the first letter is extremely important to a numerologist. But if you have 3 or 4 of these A, J, or S's in your name, that all adds up to that one. That gives you more ability to be strong. So let's look at the
when you
one,
say in
right?
your name, do you mean birth given name, like full
Yeah.
first, middle, and
Yeah.
last?
Yeah. Correct. Yeah. When you add them all up, you look at us. I mean, we start with the letter S. You have an S. Look at the A, Sarah, just your first name. You have 3 ones in your first name. Very strong person, very a go-getter, because one stands by itself, right? When we draw the number one, they're all symbols. Everything is a symbol. And somebody didn't say, well, I need to make a number one. There was a reason why that became a number one. And your children have done a thing on the alphabet.
Yes,
Which
you've inspired
maybe
numbers.
we'll bring them on and they can talk to us about that if
Oh, they
they'd
would love
like
that.
to down the road.
Why the symbols,
Yeah.
the numbers are which letter in the alphabet. It's pretty cool. Oh,
Yes,
3
look at
A's.
Nancy. Nancy has, yes, and your middle name. Don't forget the middle name. That's your safety net, the middle name. So that's a very important thing too. But 3 A's. And the average is 3 ones in a name. Now the name is how we express ourselves, how our heart's desire, our personality. It's what's going on inside of us. So that's how we would look at that. So let's go back to the number one.
Okay.
One stands by itself. It doesn't mind being alone. It likes to do things alone, actually. It likes to take its projects and be alone. One is the entrepreneur. It's driven. It wants to succeed, and it will push it all effort to get to what it wants, right? Sometimes the one, if it's unbalanced, can be very aggressive, can not care about the other people, because one is about self. We have to be careful of that one.
The more I find I'm aligned and work on myself,
Yeah.
the more I find like the power of one that is supposed to propel me exists, instead of the power of one that can sometimes be selfish, not in a negative way, but in a way that doesn't serve me.
Yeah.
That makes sense. So the more I'm aligned and focus on me, the more the one really amplifies my power.
Because in your chart, your birth date is the 10 and your heart's desire is the 10, right?
Yeah.
So you have a lot of one energy. One is a beautiful number, because somebody's got to start it, right? They're the inventors. They're the ones that come up with the ideas. Now, they don't necessarily finish them. It's all according to what the other numbers are in their chart.
Very true. Because I think you and I have talked about before, finishing doesn't hold value to me like starting something does. And I don't feel like I failed or didn't succeed or didn't, reach my full potential if I don't finish something. I feel like I did it. I tried it and I did it and I got to the point I wanted to get to, and I'm satisfied. So, and I want to start something else. And the ending isn't so much what I'm looking for as a one.
No, you don't care. And when you come up with that idea, you're like a dog with a bone. It's full speed ahead. You don't care who's in the way. You don't care who's saying, I wouldn't do it that way. The more you hear that, the more you go towards what you want to go, because that's what the one does. Yeah, the one is a very powerful number. Always have ideas. Like I said, it's the inventor, always coming up with different ways of doing things. You're original. Right? It's one. You're original. You don't mind stepping outside of the box. You don't mind you don't mind failing. It's a funny thing to say, but I have one expression, and no, I don't. Everybody else is going, "Oh my God, that was bad," and I'm going,
because I don't see it like that. My filters don't see that as failing,
right.
Whereas maybe societally or collectively, they see certain things as failing. I just don't interpret them that way, and I don't feel that way around them. So,
right.
And one is funny, right, Sue? Because one is only first because there are others. If there was nothing else but one, it would not be first. It would be first and it would be last and it would be in the
Right.
middle. So one exists, right? But it's also kind of funny because it's only first because there are so many others.
Hmm.
And so I need to remember that sometimes.
Right. Well, and you got to remember there's so many numbers in a chart. Oh my Lord. Well, what's some of our charts that we look at, and we have to mull all that information together to try to figure out what's going on within you. Um, so the one can be negated by a two, which is very opposite than the one. The two is the one who leans on everybody. So yeah, we'll learn more as we go along,
I'm
right?
so excited. Yes, thank you, Sue.
Now, the one is very analytical. It's a smart, it's very good with its memory. It can pull things up very quickly in crowds. Does that make sense to you?
Oh, to me, yes, absolutely. It sometimes can be a hindrance because I hold a grudge.
Mhm. Yeah. Yeah. That could be another number too. That could be a
Well,
6.
of course, but I remember
Yeah.
everything.
Yeah. Yeah. Oh, yes. Yes. And you're right. That can be a hindrance because yes, when you go to the argument and you can bring up the 4 years ago, yeah.
If I'm not balanced, right? If I'm not balanced and my filter isn't
Right.
for my greatest good, then I can go off the rails.
Correct. Correct. Yes. You have a very good concentration though. Yeah. Yeah. It's very analytical. It likes to learn. It's curious about things, right? That's how it learns. Highly driven. When your feet hit the ground in the morning, it's like you go, 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 go until your head hits the pillow at night and then you're asleep.
And that's
It
not just with
just,
tasks with me, but that's with like deep thought and introspection. Like everything that
yeah,
happens to me, every experience I have, every time I meet a stranger at the store, the person who checks me out at Hannaford, everything has a purpose to me. Every chance encounter is not chance, it's synchronicity. So I'm just constantly like living in that moment and digesting that and trying to figure out what it means to me. And sometimes
yeah.
people, don't always agree with that. Like, why does there have to be meaning to everything? Why can't you just be? Well, that's okay if that's you, but that's not me. And it
Mhm.
served me to have there really be a purpose in every single experience, every moment, every breath. It feels like there's a purpose.
Right. Well, there is. That's being aware.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yes.
That's where a lot of people get off track, especially with their devices now. They don't have this awareness. I was talking to somebody the other day, and I think my grandmother was a very important in my life. And they were on a farm, and their social life was church and Sunday, right?
Mhm.
They had a telephone, but they weren't on it constantly. They only used it when they needed it. So they were very in tune with nature. They were very in tune with themselves, and that's kind of been misdirected. But maybe we can help other people to
That's fair
understand that
because at any time
awareness.
you can change that, but you also have to be ready. If I think about all the
Mhm.
times in my life that if someone would have, even someone like you, right, who inspires me, who I feel a deep connection with, would have come up to me 10 years ago and said these things, I wasn't ready. So
Yeah.
I wouldn't
Yeah.
have seen it through the filter that you would have
Correct.
seen it through your experiences or through your knowledge because
Yeah.
I wasn't ready. And you can't make people be ready.
No. No, oh, no, no,
You
no,
shouldn't.
no,
My
and
gosh.
a lot of times it's their journey.
Oh,
We shouldn't be interfering, or we shouldn't be they need to go experience certain things. Right.
oh, absolutely. That's why
Um,
life coaching is so wonderful because I don't lead anybody. I just ask lots and lots of questions. And then whatever
yeah,
answers that you come to are your own answers. And I have no dog in that fight. It's just I'm
right,
asking you questions and then maybe something will stick and you'll choose to answer yourself, not answer me, but be honest and truthful with your own answers.
right,
And then the
right.
numbers can be those breadcrumbs sometimes if you're choosing to be aware of them to kind of help guide you on the way too.
Yeah, yes, most definitely. Now, what happens if this becomes unbalanced, and how does a number become unbalanced? A lot of times, if there's too much of it, if there's a life path that's one and an expression that's one, and I just see so many ones around, that would tell me that there's also a missing. If somebody doesn't have an A, J, or S in their name and it's missing, that's a lesson they've come to work on. So if it becomes unbalanced, then underbalanced, it's about self-esteem, confidence, learning how to stand in your own power, taking directions. And a lot of times at the beginning of our life, of course, that's where, and your birth date is the 10th. So it's at the beginning of your life. It's in the personality side that we're looking at. You're developing that. You're working on that. You had to either learn how to stand in your power or learn how not to be too aggressive. That was
and in my life at different times, I've had to learn that. I've had to transition, because in the beginning of my life, it was different than in the second portion. I feel like I'm in like this third on the cusp of fourth in my life, which actually kind of makes sense because I believe in cycles of 9 and I'm 37, about to be 38. So for me, even though I believe that before I started dabbling in numerology, I'm in my 4th cycle of 9 and I believe that that matters. And I didn't know that. I didn't, you know what I mean? Like, but then it just clicked for me. So
yeah, most definitely. You can be too dominating, very impatient.
Yep.
Impulsive, opinionated.
Yep. Keep going, please.
We all have the unbalanced side of numbers because
how we learn. Sometimes in my life where I would have been run over and, you know,
you need it.
Yes. But now I have to figure out, you know, the balance of that. You know, it's like, I really want this sweet, delicious cake, but like it says 2 cups of sugar. Let's try 3. Well, shit, Sue, 3 cups of sugar. It's too much, you know.
Yeah.
I just don't need it in this part of my life. You know what I mean?
Oh, look, we have Sally here. Hi, Sally. Sally has the S and the A.
Oh,
she is a very powerful person too. Has a lot of strong energy. The S is, if you notice, that sits on a rocker, so it's not stable. Right?
Oh, Sally's not stable like me. Me, you, and Sally, Sue.
You, Sue, Sarah, and Sally. We have our times in our lives that would put that in that rocker. And a lot of times, sometimes it's about how much do I do for everybody versus what do I do for myself? How do I balance that? How do I make that correct for everybody else? That's what the S can do sometimes. Ooh, Sally, tell me more. Tell me more. Remember, we're not just one number. Oh my.
And when Sue says unbalanced, right? Like the S of a rocking chair, that doesn't, it's not negative. That,
oh no.
We offer, like, there are openings within us, right? That when we're rocking a certain way, then other things can come to us where a more stable type of letter could sometimes block out those things. So there's always a purpose and a positive spin on everything that is within us, you know.
Lack of caring for me sounds right. Tell me more about the 22.
Oh, Sally's
we will be doing that next time. We will be going into that the next time. If you have 22 in your chart, that would tell me that you're a very sensitive person, very caring. You're the one who stands back and is the observer, not the number one who pushes forward. When a 1 walks through the door, you know we've walked through the door. And I say we, I have a 1 expression. I'm not just going on the letter in my name. Sarah has a 1 in her birth date and her heart's desire. Yeah. So again, that's a perfect example. Thank you, Sally, for saying that, because that's a perfect example that we're not just one number.
No.
There's so many different,
dynamic and complex. We are all the ingredients too.
And it's in flux all the time. It's in flux. It's always moving. Everybody says, well, I just need 1 reading. Well, 1 is good. That's very good. But if you keep checking in, you're going to see how that's changing and changing and changing constantly. Yeah. The other thing about a 1, which is interesting, is very athletic. And they need to be. That's how they release a lot of that pent-up energy. You're not?
No, and I think, but it's because of what I associate it with, which is a block. I have a limiting belief. I have a block, which I work a lot with my clients with, and I have within myself. I'm a human, right? And
Yeah.
when I was in the Army as a medic, I felt too pushed to do athletic things. So when I got out of the Army, I swore I would just not do them anymore because I have the freedom to choose, and I'm not doing it. You're not going to make me do it, and I'm not doing it anymore. So I do feel that when I choose to be athletic, it helps my mind and body and spirit. But the stubbornness in me decided after getting out of the Army that I'll be damned if there's going to be anything athletic about me.
Huh. Isn't that interesting? Well, I went through a change in my life, and I went into a gym. I was very angry about a lot of things, went into the gym and became a power lifter. It was very, very strong. And it was a perfect thing for me. It was a perfect for me to offset, the stuff that was going on. So,
Oh, Sue, thank you for sharing that. How powerful that is, that it became
yeah.
like an outlet and a
Yeah.
catalyst.
I didn't even think I was competitive. But yeah, I was deadlifting 380.
Oh, you badass. Look
Yes.
at you.
Yes. And I was 40 years old and was very thin at the time because of what I was going through. Yeah. So,
So that outward strength, did you find that there was a correlation between that outward strength you felt and
yes.
an inward strength that then?
Yes.
grew?
Oh, yes. Yeah. Yeah. It was just what I needed. But being a number one, what happened? I walked out of the gym one day, never went back.
Because when you're done, right? When we're done, we're
When
done.
we're done, we're done.
We don't need like an outcome for a set goal, or if we do have a set goal, if we didn't reach it, we're on to the next thing, right?
Right. Yeah.
Which sometimes can be good because we sometimes then we don't hold on to like things that no longer serve us. I feel like as much sometimes.
Yeah, they don't serve us after a while. Yeah.
But it so did serve you.
And we're so blessed for that because there's a lot of number energies that hang on to things way too much, way too long. The number 2 would be one.
Yeah, I've got to have some 2 energy in there somewhere then, because I do hold a grudge, and that can't be.
No, that I would suspect that might be 6. Do you have 6?
Well, you said birth month doesn't matter though, right? Because I'm June and that's 6.
Mm-hmm.
What is
I don't remember. I don't remember your chart because 6s can cause resentment, but we'll talk about that. We'll talk about that as we go along. Okay. I don't have any more to say. Do you, Sarah?
Well, does anybody here want to give you their specific numbers, like their whatever it is that you would need, and you could give them an idea of something for them right now, maybe?
Yeah. If anybody would like to do that.
So what would you need from them in the chat then?
If they feel comfortable, month, day, and year of birth. But I can also do a lot with just a month and a day. If anybody is interested in doing that. Yeah. And Nancy and look at that. I got one. Okay. All right. Oh my.
Oh, there we go. Oh, 29. That's 11. Oh, okay. Just for fun, I'm going to do it along with you, but I'll shut my mouth.
Oh, look at that.
Oh, Nancy's another one, huh?
36.
I lied about shutting my mouth, see?
Okay. 12, 3. All right. So the birth date number 210. Strong energy. I hopefully, Nancy, that you are an entrepreneur, you work for yourself, or you are a leader because you're running the show. You're not going to be the one that people are telling what to do. You're going to want to do it yourself. you're everything that we just talked about in the life path energy. Now, a life path is the stage that you perform on. It's who you are, most definitely, but it's like law of attraction. You manifest, you pull those things to you. So you've always had to stand in your own power, hopefully, if you've balanced everything. Now let's see. Okay, 63, 9. All right, 2, 3, 8, 11, 2. I would say between the ages of 46 and 55, there could have been, if I did that right. All right, I'm a numerologist. I'm not a mathematician.
No,
I just have to make that straight for everybody who's listening. Oh my gosh, Sue, I can't even run a calculator. Yes, all right. Between the ages of 46 to 55, I think there was a lot going on during that time. Let's see. Oh, it could have been a lot of unexpected stuff happening, and it's usually a precursor to something much better. It just at the time doesn't feel like it at that time. Does that make sense, Nancy? All right, let's do.
You're saying like upon reflection during Nancy's life between 46 and 55, there were some.
There could have been. There could have been. Yes. Yeah. Yeah. I'm sorry about your mom. Yeah. A lot went on during that time period. There was a big growth that was going on, and it was asking you at that time to let go of a little bit of that one energy and be a little more compassionate and to slow down and look at the details around you. Yeah.
And what a huge transition for those two life events, right? To have a maternal energy pass, right? Change in their energy in your life. And then to have a job change, or a career, and what huge transition an opportunity in that time. And there's a grieving process that goes along with all of those things, those changes, not just death, but when we no longer have something in our life like that job, even if the job no longer served you, right? There is a grieving process that we go through to eventually get to the acceptance part. And however long that takes you and whatever route you take is right for you. Thank you for sharing, Nancy.
Yeah. And you were young when that happened.
That's and at the same time, I would venture to say you had a lot of responsibilities outside of just your own personal growth during that time. 46 to 55, I would assume, maybe you felt that you couldn't just focus on yourself during that time because there were so many other responsibilities that you had, especially as a one, but then just as a person, all 3 teenagers at the time. Okay. So that.
Oh, wow.
Yeah. Wow.
Huge.
Thank you so much for sharing, Nancy.
Yeah, that's what I would say. Okay. Oops. $38. Okay.
Oh, wow, Nancy. So you had a lot going on during that time.
Okay, so what have I got? I got 2, 10, 18, 19, 20, 5, 4, 5, 6, 7. All right. So the birth date 11/29. Yes, the humanitarian. There's the 9. Your life path is that 9. It's a 63 9. There's a whole lot of emotion within that. that you're working through. You take on a lot of responsibility for other people. Very creative. Can be good with your words. I'm not so sure about that, because sometimes the 9 stuffs everything within, because it wants to take care of the big picture. It looks like the big picture, but there is some mama bear energy within that. Interesting. Your life lesson, what you're really here working on, this is just another little piece, is the 5. It's about change. And because I don't have a lot of your other energy, so I don't know how you are with that, but allowing change to come in. Now, let's see, you're 38. So this will go to here, 27 to 36. Let me go 27. Yeah. Okay, 36.
And if I may, while Sue is calculating some numbers,
yeah, please do.
you said a couple things about Sally, right? That she's a humanitarian based upon some of her numbers that that she has a responsibility to others, and sometimes she needs to allow some change to come in, right? It sometimes can benefit you greatly if you take a minute to decide what your values are in your life. And if you figure out what your values are, the things you want to live your life by, those pillars, and then knowing these things, you can help to figure out against your values how you can allow change to come in where it aligns with your greatest good for your best life. You can check against your value systems and your goals, which are different, but your value systems to how you're responsible for others, and what about being responsible for others is beneficial in your life and serves you. Same with your humanitarian, which kind of goes along with being responsible for others, but also humanitarian is also like to be the voice of others. It doesn't necessarily mean people too. That could mean animals. That could mean all different types of things as a humanitarian. So I think that's very interesting. But if you choose to figure out your value system, and not your values 10 years ago, but sit in it and think of what are Sally's values right now, it can be really helpful for you to align with these things that Sue's finding within your numbers.
Yeah. Yeah. I think during this period in your life, I think I wouldn't be surprised, but 2, 4. See, I'm always calculating. I'm the one who drives down the road and calculates license plate numbers.
Oh my gosh, don't get me started. Don't get me started. Addresses, license plates. Oh my gosh. Sometimes people's like, if they're inspection stickers, oh my gosh, don't get me started. Don't get me started.
Yeah, you're in a period right now, birthday at 11/29, that you're doing some deep thinking. There's some stuff going on. I almost feel like you're stuffing way too much, that you need to find somebody to talk to voice. There's some stuff going on that you're not sharing, maybe.
And I don't know if you saw, I apologize, Sue. Sorry.
Yeah, yeah. So much master number 11, 29, 22, 4. So the master numbers, I know they're not easy to stay into because of our dense energy down here. The 11 is the channeler, right? The 2 1s, it channels energy. So you're constantly downloading those ideas and knowings. You know things, you don't know why you know things, but that they are there. I think it's been hard maybe to find your people, because maybe they don't understand your maturity, your soul maturity in a way. Yeah, it's important to try to learn how to let go a little bit, let go and let God, or let go and trust, I should say. Yeah, because the 9 energy, your life path, can bring in drama. And why is the teacher to unconditional love, forgiveness, and letting go. So as you have to stand into that, and because you came 9, you think about a 9 when you draw the number 9, it looks in the past. It's always looking in the past. It gets in its head all the time. It's thinking. So you have to be careful. The 9 extracts everything that's happened in the last 8 years, or it's extracting all its wisdom so that it can take it out. But it can also cause a little bit of issues with other people, but it's all about unconditional love. And that's what we're all here to learn, is the unconditional love. Yeah.
I love that you said that, Sue, because you're talking about trust and unconditional love. And those are huge words, right? They have a lot of meaning. And I think that sometimes when we think of unconditional love and trust, we think about others. And I would challenge ourselves to think about us. So the more I trust me, the more I can trust you. The more I have unconditional love for myself, that opens the potential for me to have unconditional love for you, or a cause, or someone else. And so it's challenging sometimes, but we have to learn those things, I think, best to become proficient in them with ourselves.
Yes. Well, we have to love ourselves first. We're no good if we don't take care of us first.
But that's hard when in our society, we're not
most definitely
early on.
Definitely.
It's not
a lot of pressures. Yeah.
Priority.
Right. All right.
Especially if I dare say women, So
Yeah.
sometimes we're not always taught that. And so it's sometimes a little harder.
And it's a question of what kind of energy we have. Well, and I can go into this next time, but I have a lot of 6 energy. What is 6? 6 is all about taking care of everybody. All my life, I've done it and I've done it. Well, I got ill because of it. And I knew the minute I got the diagnosis that I knew why, because I didn't take care of myself. But I was 60 years old when I learned. And it was like, gosh almighty, why couldn't I have picked up on this quicker?
Well, you were supposed to, right? Well, it depends on what you believe, but you were.
I wasn't. You're right. That's correct.
During that time, you had to have that armor on because that was what was needed for you for then to be who you are now, right?
Correct. All right. So, Sally, Nancy, thank you so much for joining us and our very first time. Let's see. I'm like I said, this is all very new to me. I'm not really sure how you guys learned about us, or how you heard about us, or whatever. I don't know. So if you could let me know, I would appreciate that. I think if you subscribe to my YouTube channel, it might come up on there because we're broadcasting on YouTube and Facebook. Let's see. Now, if you go into my website, Healing Numbers 22, and sign up for the newsletter, you can get 15% off your first reading. And Sarah can be reached at?
I can be reached through email at conversations, the number 2, because I love my numbers, clarity at Gmail. Or you can find me on Facebook, which I know that both of you follow me in that way too. So you can definitely reach out to me that way.
I don't know how to get into my giveaway thing. It won't let me do it. So that's going to have to be practice. So for that, I say I give away to Sally and Nancy.
Oh,
yeah. So what you have to
wonderful.
do, 30-minute reading with me, if you'd like. What you need to do is you've got 24 hours to reach out to me. You can just go to Healing Numbers 22 at Gmail and just let me know. And what I'll do is I'll send you a link that will bypass payment and get you into my calendar, schedule a time that's good for you. And we'll get to meet. Yeah, that's fun.
So exciting. Huh? You guys are going to have a wonderful experience with Sarah.
Yeah, most definitely. Most definitely. And somehow I'll figure out why this doesn't work. It's somewhere, right? I'll figure it out. But anyway, okay, so sign up for my newsletter because I will post when I'm going to do the next one. And please share this with everybody because it's going to be fun. As we get going, it's going to be very, very fun.
This is awesome, Sue.
Yeah. All right, everybody. Thank you so much. Bye. Thank you. Thank you.
What number will we do next?
2.
Okay.
2.
We'll do the 2 next. Awesome.
Yes. All right. I'll talk to you later. Bye.
Bye.